really, for me right now, I'm in a transitional state. It seems like this whole 2017 has been a transition. I really, I think the thing that would help me the most is understanding what or how I can like get out of my own way the best.
Okay, cool. So when you say you're in a transitional state, I understand it might feel more. I want to be clear that I think human beings are always in a state of transition.
Right.
Everything's changing all the time. So, do you want to give me a little bit more specificity? What's the word? You know the word I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So basically, I was doing like film production for a long time, and ever since back in 2011, I injured myself, and that caused me to not be able to do the job that I was doing. And so ever since then, I've been a little bit. I really haven't fallen into my groove and gotten back on the horse, so to speak. So I've been really like dabbling with a lot of different things, and I haven't gotten much traction in any one particular area. So it's like really just finding those ways that I can like get excited about something, and then can reap rewards from it, so it continues to get me excited about it.
Cool. All right, great. So, one thing, because I recently just finished this book called The Great Work by Stephen Cope.
Yeah.
I see you have a notebook. I'm like, let me tell you, maybe take a note of that book. It's a great audiobook. I mean, it's not like my favorite produced book, but it is one of the best books I've ever read about finding one's dharma.
Okay.
Or their passion or their calling. He uses the word dharma, and he uses the Bhagavad Gita. Do you know how to say that properly?
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita. He uses the Bhagavad Gita as a reference, and then he uses all these heroes of our time, like our past times, like whether it's Harriet Tubman or Gandhi or Beethoven, and how they were an instrument. They lived their lives, and this is something to consider. If we're living our lives as we are as we really are cells to the same body or waves to the same ocean, and there is a life force that's coming through us all, what's the best way to give back to that life force, to the whole, to the collective of humanity? How can you be an instrument? How can you be used as an instrument by God, by Dharma, whatever you want to, however you relate to that, where you will benefit the whole ocean the best way possible, or the whole body the best way possible? Do you have anything coming to your mind or heart when I ask you this?
Yeah, well, so I'm not sure if you can tell I am well lit, because I have a light that I pulled out of my room that I have this set up right now. So I'm starting to do YouTube videos, but I haven't released anything yet, and I've been like holding this really high standard for like what I want to put out there, and like I don't really even know what it is yet that I'm going to put out there. And I think that that's the excitement of it, but it's like I also want to do it in a way that's going to be entertaining and fun, and not just like me trying to teach people something, you know? So maybe like a combination vlog-ish with, you know, I came up with this idea called 21 Films, which would be collaboration with myself and other YouTubers to do one film every 2 weeks. I'm not, you know, I haven't like, it's just an idea. I'm unsure really if that's something that I'm going to do this next year, but it's a potential, and it feels good.
Okay,
so.
Cool. Yeah, I think the way what you're maybe ready for, and what that author was describing in the book, it's so obvious what their mission is. It was so obvious to Beethoven playing music, and it was so obvious to Harriet Tubman that she was going to help free slaves, and it was so obvious to Gandhi that he was here to cure any of the ailments of separation. that it was impossible not. They got to a point where it was impossible not to do these things, not to be used as an instrument.
Right.
And it sounds like you're like ready to dabble in something that may be interesting to you or that is interesting to you, but it doesn't sound like you're taken over by it, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and you know, I've been asking myself that question, like, what am I put here on this earth for? And I really think that, you know, I have a ability to be a visionary, and so I keep getting this amazing vision, but it's so massive, and like I have no idea how to do it. But honestly, I would say that is my calling. But it includes building a massive estate, basically a city, somewhere, probably North America somewhere, but coming together and intentional community, where where we're creating a product and that can be sold. And there's already these communities out there, but this would be a 21st century community where we integrate a lot of technology and have, you know, labs with plants and people and just a lot of things happening, so we can get our synergy correct, so we can not damage this planet while we're here, and really take our lives to the next level so we can all thrive. But it all relates to our environment, because I do a lot of research on like epigenetics, and we are our environment. And as I research, we are our environment. It's like, okay, then we have to really, look at our environment and create and craft our environment. But the only way we can do that is to not work against nature, but to work in synergy with nature. And so the vision that I ultimately have feels so massive, and it's like I don't even know where to start.
Cool. Well, that's great. To me, that's much more exciting and aligned. That really what gets you your. Is my video still there, or it looks like it just disappeared?
Yeah, it froze, but I can still hear you.
Okay, cool. That's fine. We're almost 8 minutes in, so let's see what we can do in these 3 minutes here.
Yeah.
And then I'm back. So I want to be clear that the grandness, the massiveness, the overwhelmingness of your vision is not a reason to distract yourself in the meantime.
Right.
It's almost as if like, well, I can do this YouTube. It sounds like you're saying I can do this YouTube gig or this collaboration because what I really want to do is just so big I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And where's the model in the world right now that's closest to what you're looking to do? I was thinking, like, is it what Elon Musk doing with Tesla? Is that something that you're like kind of a vision of you're thinking of, or is there someone that's more even closer to what you're calling in?
Yeah, I would say it's like a combination of like Elon Musk with like there's a foundation in Florida, I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but it's basically these large domes, and they have like multiple different varieties of plants and animals, and everything's it's living in synergy, and so.
Okay, cool. Well, what I'm getting at is it's this idea that it's hard by the yard, but it's a cinch by the inch. In order for someone to run a marathon in record timing, they're probably going to first get their mile time pretty good.
Right.
And then their 2 mile time and their 3 mile time. So just because the whole 26 or 27 miles seems overwhelming, it's not a reason not to run. What I would do is maybe, have you ever like visited the Tesla plant or this place in Florida?
No, I haven't. There are actually a couple of places on the East Coast they're intentional communities, and they basically produce a product, and everybody lives there. Everything's paid. dental, health, everything. They work a certain number of hours per week. Then they get a small amount of money, but everything else is paid for. Food, meat, everything, so including transportation. So there's like a pool of vehicles to use from and all this stuff. So these are the type of, that's like where I'm sort of going, but like the new version of that, like how can we like intertwine the technology that we have, so we're not like going back in time, we're actually going forward, intertwining.
Man, well, for one thing, why don't you make a video about this and say you're calling it in and maybe looking to start, take the first step. However, like maybe this conversation right now is the first step. I was going to say maybe volunteering some time or going to visit those places, like taking a tour of those places, getting a feel for it, seeing if it's really aligned with your calling. And then, man, taking the step. Like, what would be the first step in doing what you're even talking about? Finding a piece of land, maybe?
Yeah, so I've been looking for land. I've found a couple of options, nothing that's really like the calling yet for me. But, finding land. Also, visiting, like you're saying, these intentional communities, finding some communities where I could maybe go and spend some time and put in my own time, right? And while I'm there, do daily videos and start posting YouTube videos. That's really where I'm going, is like, instead of feeling like I need to create something outside of myself, I think I might end up just doing daily YouTube videos of my progress towards this.
There you go. Goal. That's like combining the ideas. And it's like one more metaphor. We're 12 minutes in, so I guess this will be kind of towards the end. It's like, if my dream is to catch a triple overhead barrel in the North Shore of Hawaii, if that's my goal, I probably should start visiting my local beaches.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Because the reality of doing that, is certain. If I'm going to be right now, Pipe Masters is about to begin in the North Shore of Oahu, and if my dream was to win that, I would probably be really served by going to my local beaches here in San Diego and putting myself in situations that are closest to that scenario, and getting my feet wet, metaphorically and literally. And it sounds like that's where, if this is your vision, if this is your dream, if this is what you want, and this is what you remember, and this is how you can be an instrument, then maybe it's time to start putting the instrument in the water. Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan, guan, guan.